For decades, she walked onto stages like she owned them. The outfits were bold. The voice was powerful. The confidence looked untouchable. People saw strength. They saw glamour. They saw someone who never aged. But today, behind closed doors, things are very different. Her body has been through years of stress, illness, exhaustion, and pressure. The woman who once toured the world non-stop now has days where getting out of bed takes effort. The energy that once lit up arenas doesn't come as easily anymore. Her health has been fragile for years, and now at 79, it's clear that her body has paid the price for a lifetime of pushing through pain. She doesn't talk about it much. Cher has always been private when it comes to weakness. She built her career on being strong, sharp, and unbreakable. But time doesn't care about image. And illness doesn't care about fame. To understand how she got here, you have to go back. Way back. Before the wigs. Before the Oscar. Before the sold-out shows. Back to a little girl named Cherilyn who didn't feel strong at all. Long before the world knew her as Cher, she was Cherilyn Sarkisian, born in 1946 in El Centro, California. Her life didn't start with fame or comfort. It started with instability. Her mother, Georgia Holt, was beautiful and talented, but her life was complicated. She married young, then divorced, then married again, then divorced again. Cher grew up watching men come and go. Different last names, different homes, different cities. Nothing stayed the same for long. Money was often tight. There were times when her mother struggled to pay rent. At one point, young Cher was placed in a Catholic orphanage for a short period because her mother couldn't afford to take care of her. Imagine being a little girl and suddenly living somewhere unfamiliar, wondering why you weren't enough for someone to keep you. That kind of thing stays with you. Cher has said she always felt different. She didn't fit in at school. She struggled badly with reading and writing. Back then, no one understood dyslexia the way they do now. Teachers just thought she wasn't trying hard enough. She felt embarrassed, dumb, behind everyone else. While other kids seemed to move forward easily, she felt stuck. She wasn't the pretty popular girl either. She was tall, awkward, and unsure of herself. Kids can be cruel, and she felt it. That feeling of being on the outside shaped her in ways she probably didn't even realize at the time. But she had one thing: imagination. She would watch movies and think, I could do that. She didn't just want attention. She wanted escape. Hollywood wasn't about fame at first. It was about survival. It was about getting out of the unstable life she was born into. By her early teens, she had already made up her mind. She wasn't going to live a normal life. She wasn't going to struggle the way her mother had. She was going to be somebody. At 16, she dropped out of high school. Not because she didn't care. Because she believed school wasn't the path that would save her. She moved to Los Angeles with almost nothing. No clear plan. Just belief and desperation. Think about that for a second. A teenage girl, barely an adult, in a huge city, chasing something she couldn't even fully explain. She worked small jobs. She met people in the music scene. She hung around studios just hoping someone would notice her. She wasn't polished. She wasn't trained. But she had presence. And deep down, she had hunger. The hunger came from childhood. From feeling unseen. From feeling unstable. From never knowing if things would fall apart again. That little girl didn't feel powerful. She felt scared most of the time. And when you grow up like that, you learn to build walls. Cher built hers early. When Cher was 16, she met a man who would change her life forever. Sonny Bono. He was older. Much older. Sonny was in his late 20s when they met. To a teenage girl who had been drifting, he seemed stable. He worked in the music industry. He had connections. He knew things she didn't. At first, their relationship wasn't romantic. He let her stay at his place because she needed somewhere to live. She cleaned. She cooked. She tried to be useful. Slowly, things shifted. Soon, they weren't just living together. They were together. Looking back, the age gap was huge. The power imbalance was even bigger. He understood the business. She didn't. He had experience. She was still figuring herself out. But when they started making music together, something clicked. Their song, I Got You Babe, exploded. Suddenly, they weren't just another couple trying to make it. They were Sonny and Cher, a brand, a duo, a sensation. The outfits were wild. The chemistry felt real. America loved them. On the outside, it looked perfect. Behind the scenes, it wasn't. Sonny handled everything. Contracts, money, decisions. Cher later revealed she had almost no control over her own finances. She didn't even know how much they were making. He told her what to wear, what to say, where to go. She was the face, but he was in charge. For someone who had grown up feeling unstable, Sonny first felt like security. But over time, that security started to feel like a cage. She was young. She didn't question things at first. She trusted him. But as she got older, she started realizing she didn't have independence. She didn't have freedom. Their marriage started cracking under pressure. Fame can do that. So can control. She later admitted she felt lonely even while standing next to him on stage. That's a different kind of isolation. Being seen by millions but not truly heard by the person closest to you. When she finally decided to leave, it wasn't easy. She had a child. She had a public image tied to him. She had financial uncertainty. But staying felt worse. Walking away meant risking everything. Her career, her stability, her identity. For the second time in her life, she stepped into the unknown. And this time, the whole world was watching. The divorce from Sonny Bono in 1975 wasn't just the end of a marriage. It felt like the end of an era. Sonny and Cher wasn't just a couple. It was a brand, a business, a television show. Their variety show had millions of viewers. People saw them as a unit. So when it ended, many assumed Cher wouldn't survive it professionally. And honestly, she wasn't sure either. She later revealed she had only a small amount of money in her own name when she left. Despite years of success, she didn't control the finances. That realization hit hard. After all the fame, she still felt financially insecure, just like she did as a child. The fear came rushing back. She was now a single mother. Responsible, exposed, publicly judged. The media didn't treat her kindly. Some painted her as the villain. Others predicted she would fade away without Sonny guiding her. But something had changed inside her. The girl who once felt powerless wasn't willing to feel that way again. She began rebuilding. Slowly. She took roles in movies. She pushed herself into acting seriously. Many people doubted her at first. They thought she was just a pop singer playing dress-up. Then came performances that shut critics up. She worked hard. She studied. She showed up prepared. She wanted to prove she wasn't just half of a duo. The pressure was intense. Every move felt like it was being judged. If she failed, people would say Sonny made her. If she succeeded, they'd say it was luck. There's a certain kind of stress that comes from having to constantly prove your worth. It wears you down. But she kept going. Inside, though, the fear of instability never fully left. When you grow up without security, you never completely relax. Even with awards. Even with applause. She was building strength, yes. But she was also carrying scars. And while the world saw a woman rising, she was still fighting battles no one could see. After her divorce from Sonny, Cher didn't slow down. If anything, she pushed harder into life. She dated openly. She refused to hide. And that alone made headlines. She was linked to famous men. Musicians, actors, younger guys, older guys. Every relationship became a story. Every breakup became gossip. People talked more about who she was dating than what she was building. But behind the bold image, her love life wasn't simple. Cher has admitted many times that she struggled with trust. When you grow up with instability and then spend years in a controlling marriage, it's hard to know what healthy love even looks like. She wanted connection. She wanted someone strong. But she also didn't want to lose herself again. That balance was hard to find. She dated men like Tom Cruise when he was young and rising. She had a serious relationship with guitarist Richie Sambora. There were others too. Some intense. Some short-lived. Some dramatic. The public often focused on the age gaps. When she dated younger men, people judged her. They called her names. They questioned her. But when older male celebrities dated younger women, no one blinked. Still, criticism sticks. No matter how confident someone looks. Cher once said she didn't need a man, but she loved men. That line became famous. But the truth underneath it was more complicated. She liked independence. She liked not having to answer to anyone. But she also felt lonely. Fame doesn't protect you from that. There were times she fell hard. Times she thought maybe this was it. Maybe this was the person who would stay. But something always shifted. Either schedules got in the way, egos clashed, or life simply pulled them apart. And every time a relationship ended, she felt it. She may not have cried in public. She may not have given emotional interviews. But heartbreak doesn't care about image. It hits the same. The older she got, the harder it became to trust that someone was with her for the right reasons. Was it love? Or was it the fame? The money? The legend of Cher? That question follows celebrities everywhere. As years passed, she spent more time alone. Not because she wasn't wanted, but because peace started to feel safer than emotional risk. Still, even strong women want companionship. Even icons want someone to sit next to them at night without cameras flashing. And sometimes, when the lights go out and the house is quiet, success doesn't fill that space. Hollywood has always been brutal, especially to women. As Cher entered her 40s, then 50s, then 60s, the whispers grew louder. She looks different. Has she had work done? Why won't she age naturally? The pressure was constant. In the entertainment industry, youth is treated like currency. And for female performers, it can feel like once you lose it, you lose everything. Cher refused to disappear. Yes, she admitted to cosmetic procedures. She never pretended otherwise. But the public reaction was intense. People accused her of trying too hard, of being fake, of not knowing when to stop. What they didn't see was the fear underneath it. When your entire career has been built on appearance as well as talent, aging can feel terrifying. Every wrinkle becomes a headline. Every change becomes a debate. For years, she kept touring, wearing bold outfits, showing skin, proving she could still command a stage. And she did, night after night. But performing at that level takes a toll. Behind the makeup and costumes was a woman pushing her body to keep up with an image the world expected. There were long rehearsals, travel exhaustion, little rest. And all the while, the internet grew louder. Social media made criticism faster and harsher. Strangers picked apart her face, her body, her voice. No matter how confident someone seems, constant judgment chips away at you. She once said, "I don't want to look old." That wasn't vanity. It was survival in an industry that forgets women quickly. But time doesn't negotiate. As she entered her 70s, it became harder to maintain the same energy. Harder to recover after shows. Harder to ignore the aches. Still, she pushed forward. Because slowing down meant facing something she had avoided her whole life. Vulnerability. And vulnerability was never something she felt safe with. For many fans, Cher looked unstoppable well into her later years. But the truth is, her health has been fragile for decades. Back in the 1980s, she was diagnosed with Epstein-Barr virus, a serious illness that can cause extreme fatigue and long-term complications. At the time, it knocked her down completely. She has spoken about days when she could barely function. Days when simply standing felt exhausting. This wasn't regular tiredness. This was deep, draining fatigue that doesn't go away with sleep. And Epstein-Barr doesn't always disappear. It lingers. It weakens the immune system. It can flare up during stress. Cher lived with that quietly. Touring while battling chronic illness is no small thing. There were moments when she had to cancel performances. Times when her body just wouldn't cooperate. But she rarely let the public see how bad it was. As she grew older, recovery became slower. Infections hit harder. Energy didn't bounce back the way it once did. There were reports of hospital visits. Periods where she stayed out of the spotlight completely. Fans speculated. She stayed mostly silent. Now at 79, her body is not as forgiving as it once was. Years of stress, performance strain, lack of rest, and illness have added up. Sources close to her have mentioned that she struggles more with mobility and stamina. She gets tired easily. Her immune system isn't strong. Even small health issues can become serious quickly at this stage of life. The woman who once danced for hours in towering heels now has to think carefully about how much energy she spends in a single day. That's a hard adjustment for someone who built her identity around strength and endurance. Her body became seriously ill over time, worn down by decades of pushing past limits. And when your body starts saying no after a lifetime of saying go, it forces you into a quieter life whether you're ready or not. Even after their messy divorce, Sonny Bono was part of Cher's story forever. They had shared youth, fame, a child, complicated love. You don't erase that. In 1998, Sonny died suddenly in a skiing accident. The news shocked the world. For Cher, it was something deeper. No matter how their marriage ended, he was the boy who gave her a start. The man who stood beside her when she was just Cherilyn trying to survive. Their relationship had control, yes. It had pain, but it also had history. When he died, there were no more chances to talk things through. No more chances to argue. No more chances to forgive in private. She delivered a heartfelt eulogy at his funeral. People could hear the crack in her voice. It wasn't about the business. It wasn't about the show. It was about a shared life that ended suddenly. Grief is strange when the relationship was complicated. You grieve what was good. You grieve what could have been fixed. You grieve the younger version of yourself that existed with that person. 4 years after his death, she carried that quiet sadness. They had gone from lovers to ex-spouses to co-parents to distant figures in each other's lives. But death made everything final. And finality hits hard. For someone who already struggled with trust and stability, losing someone tied to her earliest adult memories reopened old wounds. Life kept moving. Cameras kept flashing. But privately, that loss stayed with her. Some relationships never fully leave you, even when they end. And when they're gone forever, you realize how much of your own story was tied to theirs. For all the fame, all the tours, all the awards, Cher has always said one thing clearly. Being a mother mattered more than anything else. She had 2 children. Her first child, Chaz, was born during her marriage to Sonny. Back then, the world knew him as chastity. He grew up in the spotlight. Cameras were around from the beginning. People watched him grow up on television before he even understood what fame meant. Being the child of 2 famous parents isn't easy. Your life isn't private. Your struggles aren't quiet. And for Chaz, things became even more complicated as he got older. When Chaz made the decision to transition, it became public news almost instantly. Headlines, interviews, opinions from strangers who had never met him. It wasn't just a personal journey. It became a national conversation. Cher has admitted that at first, she struggled to understand. She had questions. She felt confused. Not because she didn't love her child, but because she was learning in real time, just like many parents do. And she had to do it while the world watched. But one thing never changed. She stood by him. Even when critics attacked. Even when people blamed her. Even when the media twisted stories. She chose her child. Still, support doesn't erase worry. As a mother, she feared for his safety. She feared how cruel people can be. She feared how hard life might become. Every parent wants to protect their child from pain. But you can't control the world. Then there were struggles with her younger son, Elijah. Reports of addiction issues surfaced over the years. Family tension. Public disagreements. Stories about intervention attempts. Addiction is a different kind of nightmare for a parent. You can give love. You can give money. You can give opportunities. But you can't force someone to heal. There were times when Cher reportedly felt helpless. She tried to help. She tried to step in. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes it pushed him further away. The hardest part about being a mother to adult children is knowing when to hold on and when to step back. And when your life is public, even family problems become headlines. Imagine worrying about your child at 3 a.m. and then waking up to see the story online. that kind of stress builds up. Cher has always been strong in public, but privately, being a mother brought her to tears more than any career challenge ever did. Success doesn't protect your children from pain. Money doesn't guarantee happiness. Fame doesn't shield your family from struggle. There were moments she likely questioned herself, wondered if her busy career caused distance, wondered if she could have done something differently. That's something many parents feel, but when you're Cher, you feel it under a microscope. Through it all, she kept showing up for them. But loving your children deeply also means feeling their pain deeply. And that kind of emotional weight doesn't fade with age. Now, at 79 years old, Cher's life looks much quieter than it once did. The woman who used to dominate stages for 2 hours straight now has to think carefully about her energy. Chronic health issues don't just disappear. Epstein-Barr virus weakened her immune system decades ago, and as the years passed, it became harder for her body to bounce back. Aging alone brings challenges, but aging with a history of serious illness makes it heavier. There have been reports of recurring infections, long recovery periods, extreme fatigue that forces her to cancel appearances. Even small health problems can hit harder now. Her body became seriously ill over time, not from one dramatic event, but from years of pushing past limits. Tour after tour, long flights, stress, emotional strain, lack of rest. You can power through in your 30s and 40s, maybe even your 50s. But by the time you reach your late 70s, the body remembers everything. People sometimes ask why she doesn't perform as much anymore, why she isn't constantly in public. The answer is simple. She can't move the way she once did. Her stamina isn't the same. Recovery takes longer. Some days are better than others. Some days are hard. There's also the quiet reality of aging alone. She has dated over the years, but long-term companionship hasn't stayed. Many of her peers are gone now. Friends have passed away. Former co-stars. Fellow musicians. The list grows longer each year. That changes a person. The house gets quieter. The phone rings less. And when your body isn't strong, even loneliness feels heavier. She still speaks out about causes she cares about. She still uses social media. But it's different from standing under stage lights with thousands screaming her name. At 79, daily life requires more care, more rest, more caution. And for someone who built her identity on strength and endurance, slowing down isn't easy to accept. There's frustration in that. There's sadness in that. The mirror shows time. The body feels time. And no amount of fame can bargain with it. She once seemed untouchable, the woman who could survive anything. Now she's a human being dealing with the same thing everyone eventually faces. A body that doesn't cooperate the way it used to. And that's a hard truth for anyone.